They just need at least one question each, so if you want to direct it to a specific student, they're ready for that. They all should be able to answer everything.
Okay. Do I need to direct it to someone, or can I just lob it out and they can choose? Somebody can.
Supposed to direct it. Yep, you have to direct it. So, who wins the lottery?
I guess we'll start here. We'll start at the front. How might your research have been expanded when you studied Title IX beyond athletics? In all your research of what Title IX was, what are maybe some other ways that you could have expanded this if you were going to blow this up into a full-fledged research on Title IX?
There was, in the Title IX Act, we looked into that and what was actually in the Act. And they talked about special education and disabilities, so I think we would have gone into that and delved deeper into that and how that affects those students as well.
And Title IX also helped protect women's rights within athletics. There was a section on it where it was all about sexual abuse in schools, and we would probably gone into that too.
Okay. How might, you had mentioned earlier the National Organization of Women, you talked about now at the very beginning. Is that a result of programs or legislation like Title IX, or groups like that being established prior to this and they were pushing this type of response from the government?
Groups like this are established as almost like, I guess you could say, an aid to Title IX. So Title IX was established, and then these groups support Title IX, but they also try to fix some of the things that it doesn't address and try to pass legislation or get it passed that would fix some of the holes that we've been talking about. So just kind of fill in the gaps, patchwork, pretty much.
Based on your understanding of Title IX and its application in, we'll say, just schools in general, doesn't have to be high schools or colleges, just in general, is the restrictions placed on women, is it an oversight by schools? Is it cultural based? You showed great statistics on the number of women playing sports. Is that because Title IX granted them this opportunity and they didn't have it before, or because culture and society was changing, giving women greater opportunities?
Well, Title IX really granted them the opportunity because it opened up the fact that they have to record the balance within athletics. So if a school creates 8 teams for boys, then they have to have 8 teams for girls, and then it gives women the opportunity to have more opportunities.
Okay. So you have 8 guys teams, you have 8 opportunities for girls. What if there aren't enough females that want to play these 8 sports or any other sport they could play, and they only end up making 6 teams? Under the law, does that mean you have to eliminate 2 guys teams, or can you leave the 8 guys opportunity teams because you had 8 opportunities for females?
When there's not enough females to be put in a female team, they make the team co-ed. They actually put females into a male sport in that aspect. But I believe if it's male to female, they will either create a new sport or say you can't do this.
So it can't do this for guys?
Yes.
So guys will be restricted?
It's there to work for equal opportunities, okay. But there are still, as we have said, many flaws in the system.
But generally they can look for a sport that works, because it doesn't have to be a counter sport. So if you have men's basketball, it doesn't have to be women's basketball. It could be volleyball or something else. It doesn't have to be something that can be split. It can be just something that's one gender. And usually they can find enough people to fit into one of those groups.
What, Megan? You haven't gotten to speak, have you? Okay. How did you all end up deciding to research Title IX? This is fascinating to me. Of all the stuff you could research, why Title IX?
Well, at first we were very broad, like the last group said, and it was hard to find specific information on that would all relate together. And our first research question was how does gender affect how people are educated? And we really wanted to dig deeper into it, and so we started researching, and something with Title IX popped up, and I don't think any of us had ever heard of it before, but we found it really interesting, and so we just started digging deeper into it, because it would be more specific and easier to...
And easier to identify, because you have the legal premise of it, the actual quotes, because it has to be written as a law, so you have all that evidence that you can pull from on the law portion of it.
Very smart.
And even before we saw the Title IX, when we were, well, I guess it was after we saw the Title IX, we just weren't finding anything that was really too broad. So we talked to Dr. Newcomb, and she had suggested that we collaborate.
Mr. Yankee, and he gave us a lot of information on it.
Very good. Was your focus high school?
Yes, for the most part. But we did add
Expand.
expanded into colleges.
Y'all did a great job.